Well, the NFL is back. It's the opening weekend. And right now, let's go down to the third member of our team, Christina Pink.
Thank you. Jeff, you have a 13-year veteran at quarterback who told us the reason he's lasted in the league this long is because my good is good enough. But what makes Sean Hill good enough to take over this offense?
He understands our offense very, very well. He's got a great deal of experience, been in a lot of systems, and we got to protect him. We're going to protect him, run the football, and we do that, he'll be just fine.
The last time Adrian Peterson was in this building, he racked up 212 yards on the ground. That was 2 years ago. How do you contain him today?
I don't know that you contain him. You have to minimize the gains. He's an outstanding back. He made a prediction. We're going to find out here in about 30 seconds whether it comes true or not.
Thank you, Jeff. Back upstairs.
All right, Christina, and the reason Jeff said that is because the Rams won the toss and they defer, so the Minnesota Vikings will get the ball first. That means we'll see Adrian Peterson early on, and getting ready to kick off will be Zerline and Cordero Patterson. Perhaps the best kicker in the NFL last year, led with an average of nearly 33 yards and scored 2 touchdowns, including a 109-yard return against Green Bay. So to say he is dangerous would be an understatement. And so Zerline wants to kick it as deep as he can. Patterson is running out from 9 yards in the end zone. Patterson is upended. Flag goes down as Patterson is tackled at the 23. LaMarcus Joyner made the tackle on Patterson after a 32-yard return. Ed Hockley, in his 25th year, our referee tonight, and his crew.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 50. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty is on Gerald Hodges, so that will set the Vikings back.
That's Cordero Patterson, though. If that ball is anywhere in that end zone, he's taking it out. He's trying to take it the distance every single time.
So,
always.
Zerline, who can really kick it deep, has to kick it deeper than that. So Matt Castle, who won the quarterback job in preseason, Pro selection with Kansas City in 2010. And has experience. And the handoff is to Peterson on first down. And Peterson has said, I'm going to score a touchdown on the first carry. Doesn't everyone? And the tackle was made by James Laurinaitis. There is some weapons that Matt Castle has.
If they can get anything out of Cordero Patterson, if they get out of the kicking game as a wide receiver, they'll have a big game today.
And Matt Khalil and Phil Lodeholt will have a load trying to protect. And here is the end around to Pete Patterson, and Patterson will have the first down to the right, get the ball in his hands, and so a big pickup there of 13 yards. Let's take a look at the Rams defense. And we talked about Quinn, Chris Long. They combined for nearly 28 sacks. James Laurinaitis, experienced middle linebacker, and the secondary.
E.J. Gaines in for Tremaine Johnson. Look for North Turner to try to find and see if he's the weak spot of that defense today.
So it'll be a first down on the 29 after the 17-yard gain and the quick pitch to Peterson. And Adrian Peterson picking up good yardage on first down, gets 5 yards before Michael Brockers makes the tackle. And it was Long who initially missed Adrian Peterson, and a lot of people missed this guy.
Yeah, he didn't play in the preseason, so this is the first live contact that Adrian Peterson has had since last season. So to see him running around, he looks fresh. He looks like he's ready to go.
It'll be second down and 5. So North Turner with his offense, and he has been one of the premier play callers in his entire career. Second down and 5, and the pitch going to Peterson off the left side has blockers, and Peterson will go out of bounds a couple of yards, shot the first down, and cornerback Janoris Jenkins pushes Peterson out after a gain of 3.
We've seen Adrian Peterson touch the football 3 times already. They're getting him out to the outside. Adrian Peterson known for his running in between the tackles, but now getting him on the perimeter, forcing these cornerbacks and safeties to have to come field.
It'll be 3rd and 2, and Castle has yet to throw a pass. There is E.J. McDonald, the strong safety, and he's got to worry about the tight end, Kyle Rudolph, who's pretty solid. LaMarcus Joyner is the nickel back for the Rams. Here is the first pass attempt. Castle, and he completes it to Greg Jennings, and another first down close to midfield, and they went after E.J. Gaines, the number 6 round pick out of Missouri, starting for Johnson.
The first thing you already see is Adrian Peterson helping out on the end right there, trying to help out Eugene Sims coming off the edge, giving Matt Castle just enough time to get out of the pocket, find his receiver, pick up a first down. This is what Minnesota wants to do, getting 3rd and short early in the football game.
11-yard pickup for Jennings. Said, I don't have to be the guy. I don't mind if Patterson is the top receiver on this team. And all of his 4 touchdowns last year were thrown by Matt Castle. So a first down on the 48. And here is Adrian Peterson, and the Rams are there. It'll be a 2.5-yard gain. And Aaron Donald, who is the Rams' number 1 pick out of the University of Pittsburgh, coming on to make the tackle.
This offensive line of the Minnesota Vikings, everyone said they're built to run. Yet they're a built-to-run offensive line. So what are they doing? They're pushing the pile right now. I'm seeing a offensive line getting after this defensive line of the St. Louis Rams. St. Louis Rams are known for the pass rushers, but right now they're getting beat up front.
So Peterson gets 3 yards. He has carried 4 times for 17 yards, averaging a little over 4 yards a carry. And in trouble was Castle, gets it into the hands of Peterson. Adrian Peterson will have another first down as he gets tripped up. And a flag is down at the 42-yard line. It would be another first down pending the call, and Rodney McLeod, the safety, on the stop. The gain is 9, and we'll see when Hockley's crew unravels.
There were 2 fouls by the defense on the play. Holding. Number 52, that is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 94. 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Robert Quinn called for roughing the passer, so a 9-yard gain plus 15 tacked on.
Early and often, what do you want to do? Get the football to Adrian Peterson. But also, if you're the Minnesota Vikings, how do you slow down this rush of the St. Louis Rams? Screens and balls already, our first screen pass already for the Minnesota Vikings, a big game for Adrian Peterson.
And I think the penalty was because Quinn made contact helmet to helmet with Castle. So this will be the 8th play of the drive. And the handoff to Peterson, who will be stopped for a loss back at the 30 by the strong safety T.J. McDonald. Loss of
T.J. McDonald in his 2nd year. Last year had a hard time picking up the communication, understand the defense. This year, a lot better at coming to the line of scrimmage and making sure that he's the contained man to keep Adrian Peterson.
Tell you that pass rush has to do the job so that the secondary can get a little breather back there. Jennings goes wide to the left. Joyner again comes in for the Rams as a nickel back. It'll be 2nd down and 15. Patterson fake end around in motion. And here is Castle giving ground and nearly intercepted. And it was E.J. Gaines who came in and knocked the ball down on the pass. And good pressure put on that time by the Rams defense.
The 2nd screen pass that we've seen from the Minnesota Vikings so far. Trying to throw off this St. Louis Rams defense right now. You're seeing Matt Castle buying time. E.J. Gaines going to have to play huge today for the injured Tremaine Johnson, already with a hand on the play already.
And there was no receiver in the area. So now it brings up 3rd and 15, and the crowd urging on the Rams defense on this, the 10th play of this opening drive. Out of the shotgun, and the penalty flag is down, and a false start penalty coming up against the Vikings.
Before the ball was snapped, ball start offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, it's 3rd
And Kurt,
down.
that's Matt Khalil, and he's the guy that has to keep Quinn away from his quarterback.
He's going to have his hands full early in the football game. If this crowd continues to be this loud, this is an advantage. for that St. Louis Rams defense, knowing that the Minnesota Vikings, they have to go on first sound or first count. That gives Robert Quinn and Chris Long an edge to get off the football really fast.
So now the Vikings are back to the 35 on 3rd and 20. And the handoff to Peterson, and the Rams come in, and no gain on the play. Once again, T. McDonald, and what a first series he has had. Coming in the secondary, and it'll be 4th down. Blair Walsh will come in to try a field goal.
One of the biggest jumps you make as an NFL football player is from year 1 to year 2. T.J. McDonald coming from his safety position, learning and understanding angles with a great open field tackle on Adrian Peterson.
So Blair Walsh will attempt a 52-yard field goal after the Rams defense stopped the Vikings. And kicking indoors an advantage, and the kick is good. And so the Vikings score on their first possession. Blair Walsh with a 52-yard field goal for Mike Zimmer, the new head coach, and we'll be back.
It was sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com.
And we're back here in St. Louis, where Vikings, who finished 5-10-1 last year after a 1-7 start, lead the Rams 3-0. Blair Walsh with the 52-yard field goal, keeping an 11-play, 56-yard drive. Adrian Peterson had 7 touches, 6 runs for 23 yards. And back deep is Chris Gibbons. Gibbons is the deep man in the end zone, and here is Gibbons, 9 yards in, running it out. So we have 2 kick returns from 9 out, and he doesn't get to the 20-yard line, thanks to Gerald Hodges of the Vikings. So Sean Hill will come out in his big start. And the Rams' first possession from the line of scrimmage, starting from the 17-yard line. Sean Hill taking over at quarterback. And the pass is caught for the first down by Brian Quick, who's got good size. Brian Quick. And pressure by Everson Griffin, which Hill had handled. So Sean Hill with a 23-yard completion on the first play of the game. 500 career record as a starter, has thrown only 16 passes since 2011. And the Rams now at the 40-yard line. Tavon Austin is lined up in the backfield for Hill. Bobbles the snap and out to Austin, but the Rams or the Vikings are equal to the task, and the #1 draft pick Anthony Barr, who made it as a starter, no on the play.
Yeah, Schottenheimer told us the other day, I have to get the ball to Tavon Austin at least 2 to 3 times per quarter. That's 1 already in the first drive for the St. Louis Rams offense. We're going to see a lot of Tavon Austin today.
Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator for the Rams. 2nd down and 10. Handoff is to Zach Stacy, the leading rusher last year. He picks up a couple of yards. Floyd making the tackle. Let's take a look at the Rams backs and receivers, and they hope their receivers finally blossom.
Yeah, I look Kenny Britt right there. Solidified that young, inexperienced group. Brought some swagger and confidence. This is what Jeff, head coach St. Louis Rams, told us the other day.
And a good offensive line. Jake Long has had knee problems. He's healthy. That's a solid line. And Roger Saffold starting at left guard. Benny Cunningham now is backfield for St. Louis. It'll be 3rd down and 8. See what Hill does on 3rd and long against this newfangled Viking defense. And the pass is complete, but well short of the first down. The completion is made by Jared Cook, who was the leading receiver last year. So the Vikings, with a good start with their defense, force the Rams to punt.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. When you think of Mike Zimmer, it's about confusing you at the line of scrimmage. That's what the Minnesota Vikings like to do. They want to make Sean get the football out of his hands as quick as possible. Great job by that Minnesota defense.
Marcus Sherrills goes back, and successful return man, and Johnny Hecker with a tremendous kick. Great hang time, and this one will go out of bounds inside the 10. Great kickers on this Ram team, and Zerline and Hecker. but the Vikings hold their first defensive possession. So Adrian Peterson had a lot of touches as the Vikings took a 3-0 lead, has averaged nearly 20 attempts a game, so it'll be interesting to see. He carried 6 times on the first possession. And Adrian Peterson, what a luxury for Norv Turner, huh? First down on the 9-yard line. Dangerous territory, and there's contact made, and a flag is thrown.
Neutral zone infraction defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty. Still
Obviously,
first down.
Chris Long feels that there was first movement by Kyle Rudolph, the tight end.
Yeah, Chris Long trying to get a jump on the head start.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
They understand that with this crowd noise, they're going to be able to get off on the football. Chris Long, I think that should have been a penalty on Chris.
So Long had a good point because you just saw that little flinch by Kyle Rudolph. So now it's first down and 5. Here's Peterson, and Adrian Peterson will get the first down. Still going as he gets past the 30-yard line, and a good block by the center, John Sullivan, and gets 17 yards, getting the Vikings out of trouble.
A staple in the Norv Turner offense is power play, getting the guards out front and letting Adrian Peterson be patient and find his hole. This is what Adrian Peterson loves to do. Sit behind those guards, but when he sees daylight, he hits it and he goes.
And you saw Sullivan, the center, out front. So a first down at the 31. Asiata has checked in at running back, so Adrian Peterson gets a breather on the play. Fake to Asiata, and the pass out to Patterson, and Cordaro Patterson is stopped quickly by Janoris Jenkins. Adrian Peterson in 07 rushed for an NFL single-game record, 296 yards against the Chargers. And then 5 years later, 2,097, second most in NFL history behind Eric Dickerson. Enters the league with 86 career rushing touchdowns, lead all active players. And he's back in the lineup for the Vikings, who face a 2nd and 8 on their 33. Second and 8. And the pass on the flat drops. Pass dropped by Jarius Wright. And time for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Early upset alert. Jacksonville was taking advantage of 2 Philadelphia turnovers and turning them into 2 touchdowns. Both Chad Henne to Rookie turns. That was for 20 yards and a 14-0. Kirk and Christina.
Wow.
Shocker.
Wow. Of course, the Eagles have an offense that can overcome a 14-0 deficit. Meanwhile, 3rd and 8. Asiata in the backfield. 3 receivers to the right. Castle has pressure and is hit. And the pass will be incomplete. Robert Quinn getting to the quarterback. An incomplete pass. And that's the kind of pressure that the Vikings offense, may have to give him some help against the likes of Quinn.
Talking with James Laurinaitis yesterday, he told us, Greg Williams, he's going to blitz regardless. You blitz because you want to get the one-on-one. And that's what this St. Louis Rams defense wants to do, get the one-on-one for their pass rushers, and that's how you get the pressure.
You know, they don't have to really blitz with that kind of a 4-man rush, but Greg Williams will throw the kitchen sink at you. So Quinn putting pressure on, and now Jeff Locke punting, and Tavon Austin calling for the fair catch, bobbles it, but covers up at the 27. So the Rams get the ball back. Vikings lead 3-0. Castle under siege here in the first quarter, but it's the Vikings who have the lead. So a good defensive sequence for the Rams. They will start from the 27-yard line for their second possession of the game. Zach Stacy for a couple.
On that last 3rd down, James Laurinaitis, the linebacker, is looking at his defensive backs. He's saying, who's going to blitz, who's going to blitz? But it's the isolation of Robert Quinn, not on Matt Khalil, letting him slant inside to get a one-on-one with the guard. Robert Quinn one-on-one with the guard. I'll take that matchup all day long.
Second down and 8. Again, it's Stacy. And Stacy will be a yard shy of the first down. 27 yards shy of 1,000 last year for Zach Stacy. Let's check out the Minnesota Vikings defense. And don't have Jared Allen anymore. He's in Chicago.
Yeah, Dick, but I think Everson Griffin's going to pick up the slack and be the leader that look for him to be the guy coming off the edge on the right-hand side, getting a lot of pressure for this Minnesota Vikings defense.
And Captain Munnerlyn, the former Panther, now standing one of the cornerback spots for the Vikings. Third down and 1. Play action on 3rd and 1, and it's a first down. Corey Harkey, normally an H-back, and a first down going to the second tight end behind Jared Cook, and a gain of 4, moving the sticks to the 40-yard line.
The St. Louis Rams, they're built in 12 personnel, which is 1 tight end, well, 2 tight ends and 1 running back. But when they bring in the fullback and Corey Harkey, he's sort of an X factor that can get out, slick out to the flat, pick off the pass, and you see turn into a first down.
12-yard, 12-man personnel doesn't mean 12 men. You're not allowed to use that. Here's Hill, and Hill remains perfect as he passes for another first down to Jared Cook into Viking territory. So Hill is now 5 for 5 starting the game. And that was a 19-yard pickup and a first down at the 41 of the Vikings.
Sean Hill says he knows his personnel of the Minnesota Vikings. He's seen it because as a quarterback for the Detroit Lions. He knows the personnel but doesn't know the scheme. But one thing, he knows where to put the football for the St. Louis Rams.
Different personnel, of course, but he broke into the league with the Vikings. Played 4 seasons with them. Here's Zach Stacy. Stacy stretches for a couple. So Sean Hill, well, when we talked to him the other day, I'll tell you what, how calm is this guy?
I think he understands it's his job now. And I think the biggest thing you can talk about Sean Hill is that 2 weeks ago, he was the backup quarterback. And then 2 weeks later, he's now voted the team captain. So that just shows you the respect that he has of his, that they believe that they can win with Sean Hill at quarterback.
And one of the great testimonies to him, he's one of the captains on this team. As you look at Sam Bradford, everyone feels for Bradford, who tore his ACL, the same one that he tore last year in the 9th game. Second down and 8. Pass play going one way and dropping the ball is Stacy. He had blockers ahead of him.
I know Zach Stacy wish he had that one back. That would could have been a big play. Just throwing this Minnesota Vikings team off a little bit, because Jeff Fisher, head coach, earlier said, we got to run the football. We want to run the football. Sean Hill in those 3rd and medium, 3rd and short situations. A screen pass would have helped out a lot right there.
That was the first incomplete pass thrown by Hill, but Jeff Fisher knows as well as anyone, if you're going to pound the ball, you got to pass to loosen things up, and he's done that. 3rd down and 8. Corey Harkey joins Zach Stacy in the backfield for protection, and the pass out on the flat. And the pass is caught shy of the first down. It appears by about a yard. Ryan Quick makes the tackle, and they mark it 1 yard short of the first down. So 4th down coming up for the Rams. And they're going to bring on the field goal team. So Greg Zuerlein will enter the game to tie it up.
But if you're Brian Quick, you got to help your quarterback out just a little bit. You know where the marker is. Get past the marker and come back to the football right at it. If you come up a little short, now you see why you're kicking a field goal.
50-yard attempt by Zuerlein, who has a powerful leg. And Greg Zuerlein, boy, that would have been close to 60, and the kick is no good. It was long enough, but off the mark, and that's rare for Greg Zuerlein, who last year was 9 of 11 from 40 yards and beyond. So Zuerlein, out of character, misses the field goal, and the Vikings still maintain the 3-0 lead. First down at the 40-yard line after Zuerlein's miss from 50 yards. And the end around to Cordero Patterson. They've done this before. They do it again. And if he doesn't slip, he may get another 5 yards. And once again, a missed tackle. Jolon Dunbar, the tackle, misses. And Patterson gets 23 yards. We're seeing a little razzle-dazzle here, Kirk.
Cordero Patterson lines up at wide receiver. Yet if you put the football in his hands, he turns into a kick returner, Dick. That's why you want to get the football to him as much as possible, because him in the open field, there's not a lot of guys in the NFL that can tackle him with the speed that he has.
He already has 2 carries for 35 yards. That as a wide receiver. And a first down, and here is Adrian Peterson. And Peterson, good tackle that time by Rodney McLeod, the free safety. They did a good job there. No gain on the play. That is the head coach, Mike Zimmer, at 58 years old. He's been a coordinator for 21 years, and this is his first head coaching job on any level. Past 14 years has been the defensive coordinator for the Cincinnati Bengals, and he admitted he was nervous. Who wouldn't be in his first year in game as coach? And that is the end of the first quarter here in St. Louis. The Vikings lead the Rams 3-0. Start of the second quarter, Dick Stockton, Kirk Morrison, and Christina Pink. Second down and 10 on the 37 of the Rams. And here is Matt Castle, and pass incomplete, intended for Patterson, and Janoris Jenkins doing a good job in coverage there. So we talked about Mike Zimmer, the new head coach, and maybe just as important is the man in the middle there, Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, 15 years a head coach with the Redskins, the Raiders, and the San Diego Chargers, and a great play caller, and of course with Dallas early on with Jimmy Johnson.
My first head coach in the NFL. I learned a lot from Norv Turner.
I bet you would. Third down and 10, Matt Asiata in for Peterson on third down and long. They are in field goal range now, but Matt Castle completing the pass to Kyle Rudolph. It'll be short of the first down, but a field goal try for Blair Walsh as Gaines and McLeod both make the play on the tight end Kyle Rudolph after a gain of 9.
Early in this football game, you're seeing the safeties of the St. Louis Rams and cornerback, how physical they tackle. You know, you feel it after if you're a balker, you feel it after the play, because these guys are coming with great bad intentions.
This will be a 46-yard attempt for Blair Walsh, who earlier kicked a 52-yard field goal. And Walsh's kick is good. And the Vikings now lead it 6-0. So Cordero Patterson has been the hero, not Peterson so far, with his end-around runs. And we're back, and of course you've seen so many good looks of this great symbol of the Gateway Arch. And later on we'll show you that there is activity inside the arch, and people, you know, can go visit that aspect as well. Blair Walsh will be kicking off for the Vikings to Chris Gibbons, who is deep. Vikings leading now 6-0. Booming this kick, and no return there, and the Rams will start from the 20-yard line. So, you know, it's 6-0, and it's early here in the second quarter, Kirk, but I'd have to say that the Rams would like to see a little more momentum going on offense, don't you think?
Whenever you get to week one, you're still trying to find an identity. You know, what is our team going to be about? Jeff Fisher tried to say, hey, we're going to run the football and create opportunities for Sean Hill to get the ball down the field. But, you know, right now, I think Tavon Austin has to be a big part in that, getting the football to him and letting him make some things happen in the open field.
And he right now lines up in the backfield for the Rams, starting from the 20. And the end-around pitch to Chris Gibbons. But the Vikings are there, and it'll be a minimal gain. Minimal gain, and a flag goes down. Late flag thrown. Captain Munnerlyn was there to make the play after the 4-yard gain.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense, number 24, after the player was out of bounds. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
It was the captain, Munnerlyn, who may be demoted to lieutenant. Who knows?
Captain Mullen coming over from Carolina last year. Does a great job, holds the outside, but then just let up. That last little throw to the ground, that's what's going to cost his team 15 yards. But a good job before that of holding his edge and making a play.
So 4-yard gain plus the 15 and a 19-yard pickup. Once again, Tavon Austin lining up as the tailback, and they give it to Austin, and Tavon Austin picking up close to 5 yards. Well, ever think if you were in charge, the world would be a better place? Well, this September, Fox is giving 15 people the chance to prove it by building their ideal society from scratch. Utopia. This could be a real find for Fox Sports. Utopia, witness the birth of a brave new world tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox. 2nd down and 7. Austin again, the tailback, and that's the switch for the Rams from what we've seen. And they go again to Austin, and he's going to be knocked back by Sharif Floyd for a loss. No gain on the play or close to it. And that was Floyd. They're going to make a 3-yard loss on the play. So that's the result of that.
You see Sharif Floyd, they're penetrating, get up the field, try to make a play. Davin Joseph, the guard, didn't get out of his block, didn't get his block as fast as he should have. So what does Sharif Floyd do? He just finds a way, redirects to the football. Another touch for Tavon Austin early in the game for St. Louis.
So now it brings up 3rd and 10, Kirk, at the 39. Benny Cunningham checking in, and movement on the left side of the line for the Rams.
False start.
And a false start called
76.
against Roger Saffold.
3rd down.
So tack 5 more on. Saffold, who was originally tapped to be the right guard for this team, and starting this game at left guard, and just hoping he can stay healthy.
When you're at home, you should never jump off sides. You know the snap count, stay in there. But what Minnesota likes to do is confuse you at the line of scrimmage. Got Roger to jump off sides early.
Tell you, the Viking defense looks a lot better than it did last year when it gave up 30 points a game. 3rd down and 15. Hill trying to find somebody and finally has to throw it away. Hey, the Vikings cornerbacks doing a great job. That was almost a coverage throwaway, and pressure put on by Griffin and Floyd up front.
Minnesota doing a good job with just 4. They don't bring extra pressure, but when you have Robinson on one side, Griffin on the other side, flushing Sean Hill out of the pocket, that's what they call a coverage sack. Minnesota's able to drop 7, so guys just keep the receiver right in front of you and just make a play on the football. Even with Sean getting out of the pocket, it was a great job by Minnesota staying on top of the wide receivers.
Johnny Hecker will kick. That's Marcus Sherrills back deep. Sherrills gets hit, the flag goes down. He was going to field the punt, and the penalty marker down. Darren Bates ran in to Marcus Sherrills, who's shaken up. And Sherrills, very important special teams performer. He had an 86-yard punt return last year for a touchdown. And still down. Question is, was Bates blocked into?
Interference with the opportunity to catch the kick. However, the player was blocked into the punt returner. Therefore, it is not a foul. There is no flag on the play. 1st down.
So Bates was blocked into Sherrills, so there's no penalty, except Sherrills is still hurt. We'll take a break. Sherrills was down for a while. He was lying down on the sidelines. He looks okay now, and here's what happened on that last play.
He's ready to return a punt, but the last thing, he's hoping that Robert Blanton gets that last block. But Blanton, not tracking the football, blocks Darren Bates right into Sherrills. So that's where you need your defenders to go out and make sure that that doesn't happen.
1st down at the 20 of Adrian Peterson. And a flag goes down as Peterson jawing with one of the Rams.
Robert Blanton not tracking the football, just trying to make a block, but it blocks Darren Bates right into his own guy. That's something where you go to the sideline and you're talking to your guy saying, look, I'm sorry about that. I'll get that fixed.
And now another flag as Peterson is pushed out of bounds.
Offense number 84. It's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
So Cordero Patterson was holding, nullifying that 7-yard run. And you, on the sideline, you could see that Adrian Peterson was joining with one of the Rams.
When you get those hands outside on that shoulder pad, they're going to call that every single time. Cordero Patterson not keeping the hands inside. You keep those hands inside, they will let you get away with that. But once that hand extends to the shoulder pad, they're going to call that every single time.
And rookie Jerick McKinnon, a 3rd-round pick out of Georgia Southern, is in the game now at running back. First down and 17 from the 13, and they give it to McKinnon, and he doesn't get much, maybe to the 15. Game break time. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
All right, Atlanta's Julio Jones fumbled at the 5-yard line going in. Saints went all the way back down the field. 5-yard line going in. Saints went all the way back down the field. Tyree Robinson, 2-yard score. They needed 13-0 at the Georgia Dome. Dick, Kurt, and Christina.
All right, thank you very much, Kurt. Meanwhile, I was mentioning that Peterson was jawing with one of the Rams, and he was complaining there was a lot of trash talking when these teams last played. So Peterson not happy with some of the talk he got, and he answered with his legs. 2nd down and 16, a flag is down, and a false start penalty coming up against the Vikings.
5-yard penalty, it's 2nd down.
Matt Khalil just not hearing the snap count. I mean, this building is starting to get loud. And any advantage that Matt Khalil can get, he's going to try to get off on the football because he knows Robert Quinn is coming.
2nd down now and 21. Ball at the 9. Asiata, the running back. And the handoff is to Matt Asiata. Explosion for the big guy out of the backfield, but he is stopped close to the 15 by James Laurinaitis. So the Rams trying to keep the Vikings hemmed in a 6-0 Viking lead. It'll be 3rd down and 15.
Talking with James Laurinaitis, he told us the other night, I'm able to sleep at night because I'm comfortable and I'm confident that the guys behind me are going to come up and make plays. Laurinaitis doing a good job of filling the hole.
5 straight years, Kirk, with 100 or more tackles. Meanwhile, it's 3rd and 15. Handoff to Asiata. Asiata with a good return, but he'll be 11 yards shy of the first down. LaMarcus Joyner, Florida State rookie, making the tackle. And so now the Rams are looking for good field position in a punting situation.
With those linebackers mugging up in there, it makes the offensive line have to check. Who should I block? Who should I block? Forcing the one-on-ones with that defensive line. And that's what you don't want to do if you're the Minnesota Vikings, to have one-on-one, because right now the penetration by this Rams defense is affecting the play calling of North Turner.
Tavon Austin is back deep, and Jeff Locke will be kicking. Flag down, penalty marker, and another false start penalty against Minnesota.
False start offense, number 44. 5-yard penalty, it's 4th down.
That's on Matt Asiata, so he'll move back another 5 yards. And so now Locke will be kicking from around his goal line. Austin is a threat, had a touchdown return last year. Beautiful kick, great hang time there. Austin at the 38. And brought down. Great special teams play by Rhett Ellison, one of the tight ends, after the 47-yard kick by Jeff Locke. 6-0 Vikings. Sam Bradford, and after working so hard, you as a player would know what it's like to work hard, all of a sudden to have that horrible thing happen. I want to know your take on that a little bit in a second. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Benny Cunningham going wide, cutting upfield, and a good run on 1st down as he gets to the 43 7-yard gain. So as we talk Sam Bradford, and he's had his injury problems in the past, what's it like for an athlete to go through what he went through and then have that injury again?
I think the time that he put in this offseason, with the knee injury, he said he was throwing the football better than he ever had in his whole career. and then to have that injury again, it's tough watching him at practice because he feels that he should be out there with his guys. That's why he's on the sideline now, making sure he's being a part of the offense.
Very emotional time for him and for the Rams for that matter. 2nd down and 3. And here is Cunningham close to the first down, just shy of the first down. So missed 10 games when he was quarterback with the Oklahoma Sooners, and then a high ankle sprain in his 2nd season with the Rams. And then last year, torn ACL, missed the last 9 games, and then in preseason, in the 3rd preseason game, out for the year. So tough situation for Sam Bradford, a wonderful guy. So Shaun Hill now handling things. And Hill is 6 for 8 for 57 yards. Faces 3rd down and 1 with a tight formation. Handoff is to Cunningham and a first down for the Rams as Brinkley makes the tackle, picking up a couple. Well, for more, let's go down to the field to Christina Pink.
Thanks, guys. Well, you know, Kirk mentioned it is essential for him to stay a part of this offense. I talked to Sam Bradford before the game, and he said he just needs to stay close to football. He said he has not yet picked a date for the surgery, but when he does have the surgery, at least it'll give him something to focus on. But for Bradford right now, football is key and getting healthy. Back to you.
First down at the 48. Play action for Hill, and Hill completes the pass to Brian Quick. And Brian Quick in stride, and a flag goes down as well, right where the completion was made. Munnerlyn on the tackle and a gain of 20, but they're coming back.
Personal foul, face mask by the runner, offense number 83. Grabbed the face mask of the tackler. It's a 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. Repeat first down.
Oh, that nullifies a 20-yard gain, the face mask call against Quick.
It's a good job of Quick on the line of scrimmage. Beats Captain Munnerlyn inside. The ball's put right where it needs to be by Shaun Hill. It's just at the end, trying to finish. Brian Quick has to keep that hand down. Hands to the face is something that the NFL is watching this year by the offense as well as the defensive players.
Tavon Austin is the tailback on 2nd and 4. Rams at the Viking 46. Still looking to get on the scoreboard here with 6:35 to go. And here is Austin going out and running into a couple of defenders. Can't break Robert Blanton, the strong safety. And that'll be as they get to the 41-yard line, a gain of 5, and that's all Tavon Austin needed to do.
Brian Schottenheimer each week has to be creative. He probably goes into the office and say, how can I get Tavon Austin the ball? He's a game changer. He's a game breaker. And so far, you've seen him at wide receiver. You've seen him at running back. And you've seen him at the punt return game. Well, you put the ball in his hand, he's going to make something happen.
He's the Rams version of Cordero Patterson, perhaps. Definitely. So a first down at the 41. Benny Cunningham in to protect, and the pass overthrown, intended for Quick, and Xavier Rhodes was defending downfield, so Shaun Hill taking a shot there. Flag down again. Right about the 25.
Was no foul for illegal contact, because the pass had already been released. No foul. 2nd down.
Shaun Hill under pressure here doesn't get a chance to step into this football. And when you don't get a chance to step into the football, the ball fluttered on him a little bit. Sharif Floyd, Jasper Brinkley, a little game inside, and the ball's flutters where Xavier Rhodes, the cornerback, he finds a way to just stay patient. The non-calls, the balls had already been released, so there was no contact earlier to the play where they could call a foul on that.
2nd down and 10. Here's Hill on a design rollout, and the flag goes down again. The pass is completed to 24, but there is another flag. Chris Gibbons with the reception. Would be a first down. Ed Hockley, who is an attorney by trade, meeting with his staff.
Pass interference offense, number 13. Pushed off, creating separation. 10-yard penalty to the previous spot. Repeat second down.
So they've nullified a 20-yard and a 16-yard gain with penalties on the offense here.
It's all about timing, and when Sean Hill gets out of the pocket, Givens extends that left arm. When you extend that left arm, the referee's standing right there. He sees that. But when you on those out patterns, when the quarterback gets out of the pocket, you see the wide receiver do that a lot to get that little bit of separation so the wide receiver can get to the sideline for Hill to put the ball right there.
Now it's 2nd and 20, and the Rams back in their own territory on the 49. And the pass up the middle, and a miscommunication with the receivers. There are no receivers downfield. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, Dick, we take you to Miami, and this Tom Brady pass will be a little more accurate than the one you just saw. To Rob Gronkowski, Brady's 360th career TD pass, 17-7 Patriots. Dick, back to St. Louis.
All right, then how happy are the Patriots to get Gronkowski back for this opener?
A healthy Gronkowski.
Yes.
That's what you want to see, a healthy Gronkowski.
Now 3rd down and 20 for Sean Hill, who's now 7 of 11 for 78 yards. And he goes out to Givens. And good tackle that time by Captain Munnerlyn in kind of an open field, preventing Givens from getting more yardage. And so the Vikings defense holds. And with 5 minutes remaining in this first half, the story of this game has to be the Minnesota Vikings defense, which was right down at the bottom last year.
Mike Zimmer asks his guys to do 3 things: play hard, play smart, and play physical. And right now you're seeing this Minnesota Vikings team play as physical as can be.
Marcus Sherrills, who was taken up on the last punt, is back in the game, and he'll let it drop, and it's going to take a Viking bounce and will be down close to the 5 by Darren Bates. Adrian Peterson, almost an afterthought so far. Maybe not on this upcoming drive. And back here in St. Louis, Matt Castle, his numbers so far, conservative passing. Patterson, end around's gotten 35 yards, and Adrian Peterson, what he's done so far, averaging 3.8 yards per carry. First down at the 8. And here is Peterson. Flag down, and Peterson stopped for very little by Kendall Langford.
Offside, defense number 94 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
So Robert Quinn, 5-yard penalty. Matt Castle, who appeared in 9 games last year for the Vikings, including all 5 of Minnesota's wins. 10-year veteran who has won both of his career starts against the Rams. First down and 5. Pass caught by Jarius Wright. And Jarius Wright will have a first down. Jarius Wright, who's a comfortable receiver for the quarterback, Matt Castle. Likes throwing to him.
Yeah, Matt Castle the other day talked about Jarius Wright, the wide receiver. I got a chance to see Jarius before the game. I said, "Are you ready?" He said, "Yeah, I'm ready." Because I know Norv Turner's going to find a spot and to find the time to get me the football. And you see when he gets the football what he does. That's why Matt Castle loves this guy so much.
And he found a way to get him the ball in a 15-yard gain, getting out of trouble. They started at the 8-yard line. Now a first down after the 28. Here's Peterson. Nowhere to go. And that time it's Langford and Jolon Dunbar. So far, Adrian Peterson in his last appearance against the Rams gained 212 yards, including an 82-yard touchdown. Has been bottled up so far. Has averaged under 3.5 yards per carry. Joe Berger, who is a backup center, is going in as an eligible offensive lineman. He's number 61, 2nd and 10. Castle batted down at the line of scrimmage. And it was Kendall Langford. Boy, he has played big in this series, Kirk.
Yeah, Kendall Langford coming off a season where he felt he didn't get enough pressure up the middle. So what does he do? He goes in the offseason, drops a little weight and says, I want to be faster. I want to help out the guys on the end, Quinn and Long. What can I do to help myself lose a little weight? And you see the quickness that he has coming off the line of scrimmage.
Boy, he got up pretty high as well, didn't he? So now 3rd down and 10 from the 28. Vikings are 1 for 5 in 3rd down conversions. Can the Ram defense get off the field? And a penalty flag.
Timeout, Minnesota.
And the Vikings,
That's
no
their
penalty.
first.
And the Vikings call a timeout.
It's a 30-second timeout.
So that's
2:38 on the clock.
first timeout of the game. So very interesting game so far. And, you know, Kirk Morrison, 8-year pro, outstanding linebacker in the San Diego State. He's an Aztec Hall of Fame. Congratulations for that. But anyway, enough about you. Let's talk about the game and what you see so far.
Well, I think everybody in the stadium knows that what the Minnesota Vikings want to do. They want to hand the ball off to Adrian Peterson. What have we seen so far? 2 end arounds to Cordero Patterson. Then you see another screen pass over to Jarris Wright, mixing it up a little bit on offense for the Minnesota Vikings.
Why aren't the Rams scoring?
But I think right now they're trying to find a way to who's going to be the guy. It's Tavon Austin in one series, and it's Givens the next series, or it's Quick the next series. They need to find a consistent drive. They haven't had a consistent drive in this first half.
3rd down and 10 for the Vikings on the 28. Castle getting pressure from outside, and the pass caught by Greg Jennings. And Jennings down the middle gets a first down on a good gainer out to the 46. And a gain of 18 yards.
You need to have protection if you want to get the football down the field. A couple chip blocks right there by Rudolph and Peterson. But the one thing I love about Matt Castle, he stays in there and he delivers a strike right over the middle to Greg Jennings, one of the most sure-handed wide receivers in the NFL.
2 catches for 29 yards for Jennings. From the 46, the quick toss is dropped. Pass is incomplete. Jennings dropped it, and E.J. Gaines had a role in that by knocking the ball away. 1 second away from our 2-minute warning. So, tell you what, E.J. Gaines has more than held his own so far, the rookie at corner.
The rookie in for Tremaine Johnson, playing pretty well. He had one play earlier, but this time on Greg Jennings, staying to the inside, knocking the football away on what I think one of the most sure-handed wide receivers in Greg Jennings. But E.J. Gaines, that's the confidence that you get as a rookie. You make a couple plays, and now you say, you know what, I can do this. I can play this game.
Tremaine Johnson out with a knee sprain. Will be a few more weeks before he's back. 2nd down and 10, bobbled by Castle, and down he goes. Big loss on the play. Dunbar got to him, and the Vikings are just fortunate they didn't turn it over. And way back to their own 35-yard line. 2-minute warning with 1:57 on the clock. It's been 2 field goals by the Vikings. 6-0. Well, today's game on Fox is sponsored by iTunes. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. 2-minute warning. And the Vikings with a 3rd down and 20 on their 36 after the first sack of the game. Loss of 10 yards. 3-man front for the Rams. 8 back against Castle. He goes underneath to Jennings, who makes the reception and is out of bounds at the 48 of Minnesota. Janoris Jenkins pushing Jennings out of bounds, and so it'll be 4th down. And Jeff Locke will come in to kick it away. Here's a timeout story. The Rams will get the ball with 3 timeouts remaining. And Kirk, you know, so far we have not seen the Rams really get going, although the last possession they had a couple of big gainers that were nullified by penalties.
They haven't got going, but yet I think that when you look at Tavon Austin, he's able to return a punt and maybe get 7 points. But this next drive for the St. Louis Rams, if they don't return it for a touchdown, is going to be huge because they need to get points on the board right now.
So there's Austin. Austin at the 6. Tavon Austin. And brought down once again, a good special teams play. That was Andrew Sendejo. Tell you what, Vikings really doing a great job tackling. Can't say the same for the Rams thus far.
The St. Louis Rams could definitely use these three guys right here. Marshall Faulk on the left, Kurt Warner in the middle, Isaac Bruce on the outside. But Dick, the question I have is, Kurt Warner is leading this race in the beginning. Why is that?
Well, he threw the ball. Faulk ran with the ball and ran fast. And Isaac Bruce ran on the greatest show on turf. This is not the greatest show on turf.
You can always count on Isaac Bruce. Basically, that's what you're saying at the end.
All right. 1:38 to go, and the Rams held scoreless. Ball knocked out of the hands of Hill. And he recovers his own fumble. And it was Tom Johnson, the former Giant, who batted the ball out of Sean Hill's hands. And a loss of 6 on the play.
Tom Johnson doing a good job. Probably not going to hit the quarterback, but just get the arm out, extend the arm. When the quarterback tries to put the ball out there, just drive it away.
And here's Hill under siege. And this pass, and no good. It was out of bounds. Josh Robinson. And now the Vikings claim that they picked it off. And now the other official says, yes, both feet were in bounds. And the interception by Josh Robinson should stick. At first, the official said it was no interception.
Definitely, that will probably be reviewed. It looked like Josh Robinson grabbed the football and got both feet down.
We will review the ruling of interception.
Yeah, he got them both in. And, of course, they review all turnovers in this league. Does he maintain possession? And he does.
I think it's a great job by Josh Robinson playing underneath the route. One thing that Jeff Fisher, head coach, St. Louis Rams, is saying, Sean Hill doesn't make mistakes. He just throws the football where it needs to be. But that play right there in particular, Sean Hill has to throw that football away. Don't throw it into the double coverage. If the play's not there, throw it away. We move on to what would have been a second down, but you throwing that away right there, I mean, to a third down, but you throw that football away, that's a turnover in your own zone.
Jared Cook was the intended receiver, and of course you say a mistake, but that's a kind of a tough place as far as space for an interception to be made. So Josh Robinson with the interception.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. The defender got both feet down, maintained possession of the ball when he hit the ground. First down.
And it is the first turnover of the game. Josh Robinson, who started all 16 games, first 2 years, been bothered by his shoulder injury, trying to regain his status, and a big pick there. So it'll be a first down for the Vikings on the Ram 35. They have 2 timeouts remaining, with 1 minute and 9 seconds to go in the half. Handoff to Adrian Peterson. Peterson juking his way, but the Rams, led by Janoris Jenkins, are there. And a gain of 6 yards on first down with under 1 minute to go.
If you're the Minnesota Vikings, no need to rush, no need to panic. You have plenty of time. Start off with a run, get the clock started.
Castle's pass on the outside, caught by Patterson. First down, and Patterson loses a shoe and ends up close to the 15-yard line. Laurinaitis makes the play. Well, we're getting close to halftime, and to find out what's on the menu, let's join Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, we'll check in on Gronk down in Miami. A.J. Green looks for a big day in Baltimore. And Big Ben and the Steelers will host the Browns. We'll check in on them and more on the Visa halftime.
And the lost shoe by Patterson. And the timeout by the Vikings. They have 1 timeout remaining. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Vikings looking for points before intermission. They're on the 17 of the Rams.
Look for North Turner to probably take a shot at the end zone right here. You got 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. Probably take a shot at the end zone.
First down on the 17. And the pass thrown underneath to Peterson. And Adrian Peterson just shy of the first down. Let's see if the extra effort was enough. Eugene Sims making the tackle. Probably not. And now the Vikings will use their 3rd and final timeout.
That's their 3rd and final timeout.
So they get to the 8-yard line.
Timeout.
So it'll be 2nd down and 1. And a lot of things you could do.
Yeah, Greg Williams, defensive coordinator of the St. Louis Rams, playing sort of a soft coverage right there. And so the Minnesota Vikings and Matt Castle sees that, and he takes what the defense gives him. That means just a little check down to Adrian Peterson. A 2-yard route turned into a 9-yard gain. And now you set up a situation where they can take a shot at the end zone with 2nd and short.
Your North Turner. Let's not forget the tight end.
Always,
right?
Always.
So we'll check Kyle Rudolph. Matt Castle's numbers thus far. And the Vikings have not turned the ball over. The Rams have. And Minnesota trying to take advantage of the St. Louis turnover and get more than a field goal before intermission. 26 seconds remaining. No timeouts left for the Vikings. It's 2nd and 1. Fake to Peterson. The throw. Touchdown. Let's see if both feet were in bounds. We did not have an official signal yet to Greg Jennings. They would review it in any event. And it is a touchdown. Both feet in. Yes.
Yes, great job by Greg Jennings. Great job by Greg Jennings. Talk about the ball placement by Matt Castle, putting it with only Greg Jennings can get it. He led him to the corner of the end zone. That's just knowing your wide receiver, Matt Castle, perfect pass. And a nice little tightrope action at the end by Greg Jennings.
And you said it, take a shot. Even though it wasn't a long shot, it was a shot. And Blair Walsh with the extra point, and it's good. So the Minnesota Vikings combining a terrific defense in this first half and an opportunistic attack, taking advantage of the turnover to get the first touchdown of the game. And with 21 seconds to go on the 8-yard pass to Jennings from Matt Castle, the Vikings are up 13-0.
When you get down to that zone right there, Dick, you need a quarterback that's going to put the football where only his guy can get it. And you notice that, and who did they pick on? The guy who is replacing one of the guys who's injured. E.J. Gaines, the rookie cornerback, gets caught up just a little bit, looks inside, and once you look inside at the quarterback, those eyes will deceive you. And that's what it did right there. Nice pass by Matt Castle over the top of E.J. Gaines. And Greg Jennings, one of the most sure-handed receivers, like I said, in the NFL. I have not seen him drop a football like that. No, not at all.
Well, he caught 4 touchdown passes from Castle last year and 1 here. That's George Stewart, who is the defensive coordinator, although Mike Zimmer is really the architect of this defense. And I'll tell you what, the Vikings leading 13-0. And Sean Hill with 21 seconds to go in this half. There is the scoring drive, and it was set up by Josh Robinson's interception. Chris Gibbons, and it sails out of the end zone. So the Rams will start from the 20. Rams have all 3 timeouts left, but the clock is going to really be more of a factor in the timeouts they have at their pockets.
Yeah, if you're Jeff Fisher, I'm thinking, hey, just run the football out. Let's get into halftime and regroup. This hasn't been the best of halves for this St. Louis Rams team. On offense, they haven't found anything, so just take a knee and let's go into halftime and let's talk it over.
Adjustments for Jeff Fisher, we're sure. And the Rams shut out by the Vikings. And the Rams will get the ball first when we start the second half. So it's halftime with the score, the Vikings 13 and the Rams nothing. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa Halftime Report, which starts now.
Back to the sack, back to the start with the lightning strike. Kicking the door, more hardcore, rocking out like it's 94. Let's turn up the radio, turn up those stupid singing shows.
And getting ready for the third quarter with the Vikings leading the Rams by a score of 13-0. The Rams will get the ball first. And Kirk, what did you like about the Vikings so far in this game, and what do the Rams need to do?
I like their defensive pressure. They were getting after the quarterback, making plays, got an interception late in the half. And St. Louis Rams just have a consistent drive. You're still in this ball game. A couple plays, you're right back in it.
And the Rams will take it out on the 20-yard line. Jeff Fisher was very animated in talking with his team out on the field. And we have a new quarterback, Austin Davis, has come in and played quarterback. And Tavon Austin is the tailback. First down, bit of a surprise here. Starting from the 20-yard line, play action. And Austin Davis completes it to Jared Cook, the tight end, and he gets 9 yards on first down. So Sean Hill, who completed 8 of 13 for 81 yards and threw an interception, replaced by Austin Davis in his second year, an undrafted free agent out of Southern Mississippi, had a really terrific preseason. So it's first down at the 30-yard line. They got the first down out of it. Looked like a 9-yard pickup, but they got the first down. And a handoff to Zach Stacy, and Stacy bulls ahead for a couple of yards. So why the change? Are you surprised by it, Kirk?
Well, the first thing I saw was when Jeff Fisher and that Rams team came back from half, he huddled them up right around the 50-yard line. And he basically would tell them, look, I don't know what happened that first half, but that's not St. Louis Rams football. And to see Austin Davis in the football game, I think he was not pleased with the performance by Sean Hill. Maybe kickstart this offense a little bit. But right now, what I'm seeing is a team that is kind of sleepwalking in that first half.
Well, this is interesting that, you know, he says Sean Hill's our guy, got a lot of confidence in him, and doesn't put any points on the board, and there he goes. Austin Davis comes out of the bullpen here. It'll be second down and 7 at the 33. Stacy, and Zach Stacy gets hit and may have enough for the first down. It'll be close to the 40-yard line, and this was Jeff Fisher, very emotional at halftime, talking to his team.
Just let his team know, look, forget the first half, guys. Let's move on to the second half. We're a couple plays away. Let's just do what we do. Let's play smart. Let's play physical. Let's play St. Louis Rams football. Run the ball. Play decent on defense. We'll be fine. We'll be fine, fellas.
And they hope St. Louis Rams football results in a winning record, which he hasn't had yet. But if you know Jeff Fisher and what he's done at Tennessee, it's an aggressive team on both sides of the ball. First down at the 40. Here's Stacy. And Stacy picking up a couple of yards. Griffin making the tackle. Sean Hill in the first half.
And he was under duress a lot of that first half and not making decisions in the first half that I thought we wouldn't see from Sean Hill, the guy who wouldn't make mistakes. But that defensive line, that pressure of the Minnesota Vikings makes a good quarterback look average. And that's what happened right there. It made Sean Hill look like an average quarterback.
And now we find out that Sean Hill is shaken up. So you were just saying the defense made it tough for him. Well, that's got to be the offensive line has got to help him a lot more. And here is the pass by Austin Davis. And the flag goes down, and the catch by Jared Cook. It wobbled. Robert Blanton covering on the play, and he made the catch. As a penalty, as we said. And Jared Cook on a dying quail, covered well by Blanton, managed to get the ball. 26 yards. Pending the penalty.
Jared Cook, the X factor in this offense, a guy who can stretch the field at the tight end position.
There were 2 fouls by the defense on the play. Illegal contact, number 54, that's declined. There was also pass interference defense, number 36, that is also declined. The play resulted in a first down.
So they declined the penalty. Christina Pink, what's the story on Sean Hill?
Well, I am told that Sean Hill is suffering from an injury. He strained his left calf. That is why they made the change at quarterback. I was just told that information from Rams PR. He is on the sideline, but he is walking a bit gingerly. He is questionable to return to the game.
First down at the 31. Penalty.
False start offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty is first down.
That's Davin Joseph, the right guard, who had played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we have had now 14 penalties called in this game.
I think you kind of expect that in the first game of the season. Guys getting their legs back. It's their first real live game. Nobody's played a full season, a full game yet.
Right.
So week one, you tend to see a lot of penalties early on.
This is the most they will have played by far. First down and 15. And Austin Davis overthrows Jared Cook.
We saw Tavon Austin get involved in the offense early on. Jared Cook is another guy that Brian Schottenheimer has to find a way to get him the football. He's a tight end, but yet you line him up in the Y flex, meaning he's a tight end, but yet you push him out like a wide receiver. That's a mismatch if you're Captain Munnerlyn, who has to guard Jared Cook for the Minnesota Vikings. So right now, Austin Davis in the ball game. Get him some short passes, some quick passes, get his confidence going early on.
Yeah, the Rams are down really to their third quarterback. So Bradford out for the year. Sean Hill injured after the first half. And then Austin Davis is in there. It'll be second down and 15. Pass is caught. That's exactly what you were talking about. Brian Quick with an underneath reception. Has it at the 29-yard line, picking up 8.
Just building confidence in the quarterback. Just saying, look, we're going to get you there, but you have to deliver the football on time because this pressure from the Minnesota Vikings has been there.
So Sean Hill, his helmet on, and I don't know whether he'll be back. Casino said questionable. Austin Davis completing 3 of his first 4. Not for a lot of yards. This is the 8th play of the drive. It'll be third down and 8 at the 29 of Minnesota. Here comes a sack from behind, and it was a safety blitz by Harrison Smith. And the first sack of the game by the Minnesota Vikings.
Harrison Smith coming off the edge, a big sack. Harrison Smith is saying, look, I've been a safety in this defense for a couple years now, and I haven't had the help or the other safety to help me out. Kurt Coleman early in the training camp, Chris Cocker, guys who have helped and played under Mike Zimmer before, has helped out Blanton, and also all these defensive backs early on to show them how to play this kind of defense.
This will be a 56-yard attempt by Zerline. And Zerline, who missed an earlier 50, makes good from 56. And the Rams finally get on the scoreboard. Greg Zerline with the field goal, and with Austin Davis coming out as the quarterback here in the third quarter, the Rams finally score. And welcome back to St. Louis. Sean Hill injured with a calf injury. Austin Davis taking over. And the Rams get a field goal, a 56-yard field goal by Zerline, his 9th career 50-yarder. As the Rams went 9 plays, 42 yards. As Cordero Patterson will run this one out. 7 yards in the end zone. Best kick returner last year, but the Rams, good special teams, prevent Patterson from getting to even to the 15-yard line. And they have to separate some of the players there. And as we mentioned earlier, last time Adrian Peterson played here, talked about the trash talking by the Rams. Tell you what, Jeff Fisher and his teams have not been shrinking violence over the years.
No, not at all.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, taunting by the kicking team, number 53. 15-yard penalty. Minnesota keeps the ball, first down.
Well, Darren Bates pays for it with an unsportsmanlike penalty.
And that's the thing that we're talking about early in the football game, that Jeff Fisher is telling his team, we got to play smarter. You know, you had the interception by Sean Hill right before the half, the face mask on what could have been a big play by Brian Quick in a drive early in the game. Those are the penalties and things that you cannot do if you want to win football games in the National Football League.
From the 27-yard line, Adrian Peterson going outside left and going out of bounds. Adrian Peterson has not gotten unleashed as of yet, and a flag down close to the line of scrimmage. Maybe against the Vikings.
Holding, offense number 71. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
So Phil Lodeholt, the right tackle, called for holding. So whatever the Vikings got from that unsportsmanlike conduct, they go back 10.
We saw a pretty clean first quarter. Start to see a little bit of penalties in that second quarter. Now this is the first time these guys have had the extended playing time. You get into this third quarter, guys get a little tired and not rely on their technique.
Good point. First down and 20. Peterson trying to go outside. Does. Adrian Peterson with his best run of the game. And don't forget, He needed 20 yards, and he got most of them back. Alec Ogletree makes the tackle after Peterson gets 17. That's his best rush of the contest. Injured player, and Chris Long. Coming off of knee surgery is Chris Long. This is unfortunate. Timeout. Chris Long got injured on the last play, walked off at his own power. That's the scene on the sideline. 2nd down and 4 from the 33 for the Vikings, and the pitch to Peterson. Cutting upfield, Peterson will have the first down as he gets to the 40-yard line. Laurinaitis brings him down. Let's check out that injury again, Kirk.
Here's right here, Chris Long right here. Basically, you get off on the football and engage, but while you're engaging, trying to force to get back out to get to the ball carrier, but the friendly fire of your own man stepping on your foot right behind, roll that ankle up right there for Chris Long. Looks like hopefully he may be back, but those are the kind of things that in the pursuit to the football, guys sometimes roll up on your back of your ankle.
So many injuries from your own players.
Yeah.
So a first down after the gain of 7 by Adrian Peterson. Here comes pressure, and here's Peterson answering pressure with a spin move, and he picks up about 3 yards. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, thanks, Dick. We go to Atlanta. A little bit of history here from Matt Ryan. That's his 155th touchdown pass. Levine Toilolo on the other end. That 155 is the Atlanta Falcons record. They're still down by 3, 20-17. Dick.
Good battle in the NFC South in Atlanta in the opening game, Joel. There's the total yard story. Minnesota has had control for sure. Jerick McKinnon, that rookie from Georgia Southern, the 3rd-round pick, is now in motion to the right on 2nd down and 7. Matt Castle has time, and this pass incomplete. Viking player had a hand on it. That was with Kyle Rudolph, but defense by T.J. McDonald and others downfield. And that'll bring up 3rd down. That time Robert Quinn very nearly got to Matt Castle.
Good job by T.J. McDonald. He sat and he read that route. Kyle Rudolph goes up the seam, but watch T.J. McDonald sit right on top of it. Almost made a play. If the ball would have been a little bit higher, probably would have intercepted that pass. But a good job by T.J. McDonald staying off and then striking all the way through to get the ball out.
Now the Ram crowd looking for a stop right here. 2 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. They need 7 yards here. Do the Vikings. From the 43, Castle getting rid of it in a hurry, and it's caught by Cordero Patterson. And a first down to the 46 of the Rams. E.J. Gaines defending on the play, and I don't think you could have defended that play at all.
No, not at all. If you're Norv Turner, you're happy about this because Cordero Patterson still learning the wide receiver position, but Matt Castle gets the ball out quick. That's a timing pattern. The ball's already thrown. Cordero Patterson turns his head around. The ball's right there. Catch it, step out of bounds, first down, keep the drive going.
I don't know what else Gaines could have done on that perfectly thrown pass and route. 11 yards there. And a first down at the 46 of the Rams. Jennings going in motion. And they give it to Adrian Peterson. And Peterson, Rams tackling a lot better. That was Janoris Jenkins with the play. Let's send it down to Christina Pink.
Well, Dick, Rams defensive end Chris Long just went back to the locker room. We saw him get rolled up on a few plays ago. Spent some time on the training table. They were examining his left ankle, cut the tape off, and he tried to test it out but was sensing some discomfort. So he is just headed back to the locker room now, Dick. All
right, good job, Christina. Thank you very much. 3-yard pickup that time by Peterson. Changing direction, 2nd down and 6. Play action. Pressure on Castle. The pass is caught, but not for many yards. Greg Jennings is hit by E.J. Gaines, who had him tracked down all the way. Gain of 2 yards.
I'm really impressed with E.J. Gaines. The rookie cornerback getting the nod. Tremaine Johnson out with a knee injury, but E.J. Gaines playing pretty good. I mean, had the touchdown by Greg Jennings late in the half, but other than that, he's been playing right in front of Greg Jennings.
He's been the victim of Jennings' great play and Patterson before. So now, as you look at Castle's numbers, pretty good. 3rd down and 5 on the 41. And the crowd a factor. The ball getting away, and for the second time, the ball getting away from Castle, and the crowd a factor. No question about it on the snap. And a huge loss back to the 40-yard line of 19 yards. And now the Vikings will have to kick it away.
These type of plays drive a coach crazy. It was nothing that the Minnesota Vikings, nothing that the St. Louis Rams did. It was just a bad snap by a quarterback who wasn't ready. And that's what happens with crowd noise. It affects the snap count. It affects the play call.
Jeff Locke with the kick. Tavon Austin. He bobbles it, muffs it, and he covers up with it at the 15-yard line. So the muff by Austin, but doesn't lose it. And the Rams, down by 10, go on offense. And welcome back to St. Louis. Matt Castle leading the way with 12 of 19 for 117. Shaun Hill is hurt. Austin Davis is the quarterback. Case Keenum, the third quarterback, inactive today. Picked up from the Houston Texans, starting from the 15-yard line. Zach Stacy with an impressive run of 6 yards on first down. Anthony Barr, the #1 pick out of UCLA for the Vikings, playing strong side backer, making the tackle. So it's in the hands of Austin Davis now, who was the backup to Kellen Clemens last year, didn't play. Clemens was the guy who relieved Sam Bradford when he got hurt against Carolina.
St. Louis needs to put together a drive. They got to find offense somewhere. Running the football hasn't been effective enough. They have to take a shot down the field. They just can't keep trying to hand the ball off and play ball control.
And the handoff again to Stacy, and Stacy will have the first down. But you're right about that, Kirk. 53 yards before that carry for the Rams on the ground. The Vikings have 115, so they're going to have to unleash the quarterback a bit. That was a 4-yard pickup. Down to up to the 21.
If you're Minnesota, you're happy. Hey, St. Louis, continue to run the football. We want you to do that. Just don't take the shots down the field. We've seen already when tight end Jared Cook got down the field, they had a pass interference penalty. These wide receivers and tight ends of St. Louis can change the game, but it's just about getting that play called for those guys.
Brian Quick at the top of your picture on first down. They go to the ground again to Stacy. Stacy, he's doing the job on the ground, I would have to say, and he picks up 6 yards. Jamar Steffen in to make the play, and you get 6 yards on first down. Stick with it, right?
Yeah, but Zach Stacy didn't even know what the call was. Austin changing the play, probably a check with me, meaning he can run to the left or run to the right, depending on what the defense gives him, but he doesn't know what's the play call. So he makes basically something out of nothing for a guy who didn't know where the play was supposed to be going. Positive play.
Did a good job of ad-libbing. Second down and 4. Good catch there. Play action this time to Stacy, but there comes the sack, and it's Linval Joseph, the former New York Giant, who joins the team as the nose tackle, and the 3rd sack of the game for the Vikings. And a loss on the play. Loss of 10 yards.
You get Linval Joseph right in the middle. Just read and react. Use your hands, swim, and get up the field. Does a great job of getting up the field, making a play. Sharif Floyd and also Mr. Linval Joseph together. These guys make a good tandem right there in the middle for this Minnesota Viking defense.
3rd down and 14. Davis completes the pass, but 10 yards short of the first down. Benny Cunningham out of the backfield with the reception. I'll tell you what, this Minnesota Viking defense, keep in mind they allowed an average of 30 points a game last year. 37 touchdown passes. That's one of the highest of all time. They were 30th on 3rd down conversion defense. And you can see night and day difference here. There you see where they were. So now 4th down, and Johnny Hecker will be kicking. Marcus Sherrills is back deep. Fair catch by Sherrills at the 32. So the Vikings have the ball in a 10-point lead with 2:08 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Matt Castle, who won the job over Teddy Bridgewater, trying to get a win on the road for Minnesota, something they didn't do last year. Well, encouraging news. Chris Long went into the locker room. He's back out there. They're taping up his left ankle. May get back in the game. William Hayes is in for him on first down for Darrell Patterson, and he's done the job as a ball carrier today for Darrell Patterson. Still on his feet. What a move he makes, and he will score. "67 yards for Darrell Patterson, who has been the offensive weapon today. And as Kirk Morrison said, they want him to be more than just a kick return man. Get the ball in his hands, and do they ever.
I said in our open, Dick, it's easy. This is a kick returner in a wide receiver's body. Get him the football and let him turn into a kick return. There's nobody in the open field that can catch him. He weaves through. What was the difference between a kickoff return or a run right there? It was the same exact thing.
And Blair Walsh with the extra point, and the kick is good. And the Vikings now lead by a score of 20-3. 67-yard run. Janoris Jenkins was faked out of his shoes, and Patterson, spectacular score. Well, coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week as Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers take on Tony Romo and the Cowboys. Others will see the Panthers battle the Buccaneers. Coverage continues next on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Love to see that again.
Well, first you have Brandon Fusco with a great kickout block, and then Cordell Patterson does what he loves to do. It turns into a kickoff return for him. He gets into the open field and just makes guys miss. This is what Norv Turner wanted to see from his kickoff returner, was a guy that said, look, we're going to get you the football, show us what you can do, and in the offense, it just makes the offense that much more explosive.
Now a first down at the 20, Austin Davis. Team trailing by 17 points late here in the third quarter. Davis gets hit and completes the pass, and it's caught by Lance Kendricks, who's picking up just about 3.5 yards on the play.
It's still dink and dunk for the St. Louis Rams offense. It's nothing, above 10 yards, 15 yards. It's 5 yards here, 5 yards there. You have to stretch the field because this Minnesota Vikings defense is just staying right on top at about 10 yards.
Well, what an improved defense it is. Second down and 7. Here's Benny Cunningham. Nothing. Maybe a yard. And Chad Greenway making the tackle. Let's check down with Christina Pink.
Well, Dick, Sean Hill still dealing with that strained thigh. Case Keenum, their third-string quarterback, inactive. I've asked the Rams PR staff who would be their third quarterback in this situation. Right now, they have no answer. So an interesting situation for their offense. Sean Hill is standing now with his helmet on, but not near the coaching staff. But I can't tell you, Austin Davis, every time that defense is on the field, getting talked to by those coaches, trying to coach him through those early struggles.
All right, Christina, third down and 6 from the 24. False start penalty against St. Louis.
False start offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty.
So there's a big difference
down
between 3rd and 6 and 3rd and 11 now.
False start penalties at home. This is the third time we've seen it from this offensive line. Getting to the offensive line and seeing what Minnesota's doing on defense is definitely, the communication is not there up front for St. Louis. It's supposed to be a strength with a veteran group for them.
They have not been able to cope with their own communication problems or the Vikings defense. So now 3rd and 11. Davis back there. And the pass is incomplete. Intended for Jared Cook. So now it'll be 4th down in a punting situation. Johnny Hecker will come on, and the Vikings could be looking at good field position as Sherrills goes back.
The Vikings getting pressure with 4. I mean, that means you drop 7 guys back, keep the wide receivers in front of you, you just make play. If you're Mike Zimmer, you're over there grinning right now saying, this is what I want my defense to look like all season long.
Sherrills backing up on the 25. And he is down to about the 29-yard line after the 56-yard kick. Well, this is somewhat of a surprise because here you have two teams that both Anytime you get a game where both teams think they can win the game, it's big. We didn't have marquee quarterbacks coming in the game, but the poise of the Minnesota Vikings on the road with a new offensive coordinator, new head coach, impressive.
I think Matt Castle said it best yesterday. This is a fresh start. It's a fresh start for a lot of guys. A new head coach, offensive coordinator. Guys think that they can finally breathe and say, you know what, let's do this the way we want to do it, the right way. Last year they said too many breakdowns and critical situations in a football game.
First down on the 30. And here is Adrian Peterson, and he's going to be knocked back by Aaron Donald for a loss, and that'll be the last play of the third quarter. So Peterson has not been the factor, but Cordaro Patterson has been in a big way. End of the third quarter, 20-3 the score. Fox start the fourth quarter. Dick Stockton along with Kirk Morrison and Christina Pink. That's Chris Long, who is on the sidelines, not in the game right now, and the Vikings have a second down and 12 at their own 28-yard line. Adrian Peterson is split wide to the right. Empty backfield for Matt Castle, and here come the Rams. And the pass incomplete. Rudolph, the target, and Eugene Sims came storming in on Matt Castle. So it's 3rd and 12, and the moral of the story, don't have an empty backfield against this defense.
Not at all. The Minnesota Vikings right now are able to open up the playbook a little bit. Motioning out Adrian Peterson to an empty formation. Matt Castle just missed that last pass, but this is what having Adrian Peterson on your team can do. It enables you to have the defense on their heels, and that's what you're seeing from Minnesota right now.
Matt Asiata checks in at 3rd down and 12. Castle double or triple pumps and dumps it off to Asiata. And Aaron Donald is there. Aaron Donald, who cannot break into the starting front four of Long, Langford, Brockers, and Quinn. First-round pick out of the University of Pittsburgh for the Rams. And it is 4th down, and Jeff Locke will be kicking to Tavon Austin. Austin backed up to the 15. And he is stopped at the 22 by Cullen Loeffler, the long snapper. Key plays in this game. This was the interception by Josh Robinson, and then the touchdown pass to Greg Jennings. Did a great job, and then the spectacular play of the game. Cordaro Patterson with a 67-yard touchdown run with all sorts of fakes and jukes. Patterson with 102 yards on 3 pitches, averaging 34 plus the touchdown. What a game for Patterson.
I saw him before the game, and he just gave me that look, Dick. He gave me the look like, look, I'm ready. I'm not just a returner. I'm a football player.
Stacy for a yard. What a weapon that he has on the brink of stardom, and we're seeing him make a major step today.
I tried to joke around with him before the game. I'm saying, you're just a kick returner, right? He said, no, I'm a football player. And he's showing us so far, you put the football in his hands. I mean, the guy is just electric. And you almost have to hold your breath every time he touches it.
North Turner said it reminded him a lot of Ahmad Rashad, who's known as Bobby Moore when he played at Oregon years and years ago, but one of the great players. And here's Austin Davis with a flag down, escaped from trouble, and pushed out of bounds. But the penalty marker down at the 25. So North Turner blessed not only with Adrian Peterson, but Patterson.
63.
And the holding penalty against the center, Scott Wells.
But I like what you said there, because that's what we're getting a dose of, either Patterson or Peterson. And I think that's what North Turner has to discuss with his teams. And which guy do we have to feature today? Because when you start to feature Patterson, then Peterson, then you still have the Jarius Wright, and you saw Greg Jennings with a touchdown. They have weapons, not to mention Kyle Rudolph at tight end. They have the weapons for this team.
Well, you pointed out Patterson at the start of this game, and we said that North Turner is blessed with the weapons. Out of the empty backfield, Davis's pass is caught by Jared Cook. And another penalty marker down. We have had 17 penalties. Now this is the 18th flag of the game. It would have been an 11-yard game, but it appears to be against the Rams.
Pass interference, offense number 89, pushed off on the break. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat second down.
So Jared Cook, the tight end, pushing off.
You very rarely see offensive pass interference in the NFL. But for us to see it a couple times today, these Rams wide receivers are not getting off the man pressure. They're not getting off the coverage of the Minnesota Vikings, having to push off, having to lane off. You can't do this in the NFL. Jared Cook pushing off right there. Chad Greenway, one of the better coverage linebackers in the NFL, all over Jared Cook.
Stoppage of play. Still early in the second quarter. We have yet to complete 2 minutes in this fourth quarter. It'll be second down, and you're ready for this 25 back of the 8.
I could sense some frustration on that St. Louis Rams sideline.
Yeah.
And those wide receivers, they're not getting open, so they're trying to do anything they can to show the quarterback, look, throw it to me. I'll find a way to be open.
Davis in his end zone goes underneath and completes it to Tavon Austin, but that's not going to get it done for the Rams. They got out of deep trouble. They're still at the 12-yard line. Blanton was there. Gain of 5 yards. It'll be third down and 20. So you figure the Vikings will give the Rams anything underneath and still get good field position on a punt perhaps.
It's a wall of defenders every time they dump the ball off. Every time.
Third down and 20. Inside his 5. Again, they go underneath. And they've been making the tackles like that all day. Zach Stacy is tackled by Gerald Hodges. And the crowd displeased. Not much he can do, though, when you have third and 20, to be honest with you.
Well, also, you're on your third quarterback. You know, Sam Bradford not going to be in the game today. Sean Hill injured. Now Austin Davis. I don't know how much Austin Davis thought he was going to play this week, but he's got to step up right now for his ball club. And throwing it 5-yard checkdowns is not going to help.
Johnny Hecker with the punt. Sherrills, fair catch at the 30. 20-3, the Minnesota Vikings have dominated this game against the St. Louis Rams. They have not allowed a touchdown. This team that was so poor defensively a year ago looks stalwart tonight. So Matt Castle, who won the job over, call him the people's choice, Teddy Bridgewater, the 32nd pick. And they are very high, the Vikings coaches, on him. They say similar to the way Drew Brees plays. And they said Bridgewater will prove to be better than Castle. That was said to us by the Vikings coaches. Ever could be, but not yet. And so Mike Zimmer going with the experience. Matt Castle, although Bridgewater had a terrific preseason. Here's Adrian Peterson. Gets a yard on the play. Well, NFL Week 1 action continues today on Fox. And then tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Tune in tomorrow for a Monday Night Football doubleheader. Well, you know, Peterson has gained 68 yards on 17 carries. His longest rush has been 17 yards. Cordarrelle Patterson has been the offensive star. You know that the Vikings are going to be conservative, at least for most of the way here. 2nd and 9.
Roger.
And as he said that, they throw the ball. And the pass is caught. And maybe a first down. Greg Jennings, very close.
One thing I've always liked about Matt Castle is that he's smart. He's smart with the football, recognizes the blitz. Greg Williams at St. Louis Rams, they bring 7 on the last play. So what does Matt Castle do? He holds the football, but he delivers it on time to Greg Jennings. That's a big 10-yard first down pickup for the Minnesota Vikings, but at the same time, that's just a quarterback recognizing the blitz and getting the ball out, letting his wide receiver make a play.
10-year veteran Matt Castle, 1st and 10 at the 40. Adrian Peterson with a head of steam. There's Peterson making some moves, getting the first down into Ram territory to the 48, picking up 12 yards. For a game break, let's join Joel Klatt.
All right, Dick, in Philadelphia coming back in this ball game. At one point down 17-0, but now making it a ball game. It's 17-14 after the Zach Ertz touchdown, 25 yards from Foles. Dick.
All right, Joel, not a surprise that the Eagles, with Chip Kelly's unique offense getting back.
The high-powered offense of Chip Kelly.
Right. First down for the Vikings on the 48 of the Rams. Those are Peterson's numbers today. And Peterson getting the call again. Gets hit right about the line of scrimmage by Joe Lon Dunbar. Here's Christina Pink.
Well, Dick, Chris Long came out of the locker room, had that ankle tape, but since then he's just been pacing up and down on the sideline. He has now been downgraded from questionable to now doubtful. Still on the sideline, though, but doubtful to return.
Thank you, Christina.
Well, one thing, Chris Long's not in the game, and you've seen the Minnesota Vikings. They've been attacking that left side of the Rams defense, running right the whole entire time. And Chris Long's such a, not just a pass rusher, but what he does in the run game as well.
Second down and 8, the handoff to Peterson. He's going to be knocked back. Aaron Donald. Tell you what, we have mentioned Aaron Donald's name a lot. The #1 draft pick out of the University of Pittsburgh, and he is going to be a force. And he knocked back Peterson for a loss of 6 yards.
It's one of the things I loved about watching Aaron Donald when he was in college at Pittsburgh. He's just a penetrator, a guy who gets off the football, uses his size, and gets penetration into the opponent's backfield. That's why the linebackers talked with James Laurinaitis and said, look, when guys penetrate, I just feel off of them.
It'll be 3rd down and 14. And a timeout called by Matt Castle. That is the first timeout called by the Vikings in this second half. So with 8:23 to go in the 4th quarter, the Vikings nursing a 23 lead. America's Game of the Week, 49ers Cowboys coming up next on Fox. 3rd down and 14. Castle quickly gets it out to Jarius Wright. Jarius Wright is stopped about 5 yards shy of the first down by Cody Davis. So that will bring up 4th down. So Wright, another one of those weapons on the second level perhaps for what Norv Turner has. But the Rams will get the ball back here with 8 minutes to go.
Positive play for Minnesota Vikings. You don't get the first down, but you get yardage. And you get into the opponent's territory. Now you get a good punt and you nail them down inside that 10-yard line and put your defense out there. And for Mike Zimmer, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
So Jeff Locke will be kicking to Tavon Austin. By the way, Sean Hill has been throwing on the sideline for the Rams. And they're coming in to try to block it. And a flag will go down. And we may have running into the kicker. And it's down at the 5-yard line. And so Locke slow getting up. Chase Reynolds came in.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Defense number 34. 15 yards from the previous spot and an automatic first down.
So it's not running into the kicker, but it's roughing the kicker, which is 15 yards. And an automatic first down for the Vikings. What can go wrong for the Rams here? More.
Well, Jeff Fisher said this is a more experienced bunch, but the St. Louis Rams are playing like what they are, the youngest football team in the NFL. I mean, we've had roughing the passer, we have, roughing the kicker. Now you've also had the holding penalties, false starts. I mean, they've had every penalty, I think, in the NFL today. That's not what you want from your young football team. That's why you look at the scoreboard and you're down 20-3.
Kirk, the Rams have been penalized 12 times for 112 yards today. And a first down at the 28 for the Vikings with the 17-point lead. And on the screen pass, they go to Peterson. And check that, Red Ellison, the tight end. And Ellison gets down to the 5-yard line. So Ellison, the backup tight end, and a flag is down back on the opposite side of the field on the 20. So they ran a tight end screen.
Before the pass was thrown, holding defense number 21. That penalty is declined. The play results in a first down.
Janoris Jenkins holding didn't matter. They got 22 yards on the screen.
You see Red Ellison, he hides in behind Kyle Rudolph, finds a way to get open and make a play.
Peterson knocked back for a loss by Joe Lon Dunbar. So what has kept this drive going for the Vikings has been the roughing the kicker penalty.
But one thing that Red Ellison, the guy who I talked to, Matt Castle, and said, this is probably, I call him the MVP of this offense. We know Adrian Peterson and Cordero Patterson, but what Red Ellison, number 85, does for this offense, He gives them 12 personnel, 2 tight ends in the game, but at the same time, he's more like a blocking back. So teams forget about him.
So 12 personnel means 2 tight ends.
2 tight ends.
Okay. Just in case that becomes a play call. 2nd and goal on the 7. Play action. There's the pass, and it's caught for the touchdown by Kyle Rudolph. Well, this is a tight end drive after the roughing the kicker penalty. Red Ellison with 22 yards, and then Kyle Rudolph with a 7-yard touchdown reception. And the Minnesota Vikings on this opening game with a rout of the Rams to this point with 6:27 to go.
Well, Norv Turner, when he was a head coach in San Diego, he had Antonio Gates. As an offensive coordinator last year in Cleveland, he had Jordan Cameron, a Pro Bowler. Now this year, he inherits another Pro Bowl tight end in Kyle Rudolph.
And Walsh with the extra point makes it 27-3. And let's not forget Jay Novacek with the Dallas Cowboys in the big years of Aikman and Smith and Irvin. 27-3. The Vikings are sailing. So Kyle Rudolph capping a 9-play, 70-yard touchdown, roughing the kicker penalty, extended it, and the Vikings ended up with a touchdown. Chris Gibbons will see it get out of the end zone, and the Rams will come out to the 20.
It's all about being on different levels. You got a tight end here, one goes out, one goes out. It's different levels, forcing this linebacker right here to have to make a decision. Does he go down to the one on the low, or he goes to the one on the high? You leave the high alone, that was Kyle Rudolph. But if you leave the low alone, that's what could have been Red Ellison, who we saw a couple plays earlier with the screen pass for a big, big game.
Pick your poison.
Pick your poison all day.
First down at the 20 for the Rams. Austin Davis has played this entire second half in relief of the injured Sean Hill, who has a thigh injury. And down he goes as Everson Griffin, who's succeeding Jared Allen at the pass rushing spot, making the play. Well, this October, history will be made as baseball's postseason moves to America's new sports network. Fox Sports 1 is your new home for baseball's National League, Division, and Championship Series, and it all begins this October. Everson Griffin, once again, with another sack. That's the 5th sack of the game for the Vikings, and right now they're just teeing off on Davis, second year, in essence, the 3rd quarterback on this team.
Yeah, but it's no blitz. This is just 4-man rush. This is just man on man. This is Everson Griffith on Jake Long on that outside, and he's just having his way right now. 3rd down and 12, and this one is caught by Brian Quick. And that will be a first down for the Rams up to the 33. Under 5.5 to play in the 4th. But there's still no hurry up. There's still no urgency. Right. There's no sense of urgency in the Rams offense right now. Guys walking up to the line of scrimmage. You're still in this football game if you can get a couple scores, but right now, walking up to the line of scrimmage is not going to help.
More than 3 touchdowns behind. And Benny Cunningham with the run. Greenway is there. He'll be about 3 yards short of the first down as we wind down to 5 minutes to go. There's Greenway, who's become the leader, has never worn the headset before this year in his 9th season. And from behind, Corey Wooten, the former Chicago Bear, got a piece of Austin Davis's arm.
I had a chance to talk to Chad Greenway about that, wearing that green dot on the back of his helmet. He's never done that before. He talked about it in college. He said, I never wore the green dot in college. I didn't call plays. I was the outside linebacker. But this year, because he's on the field so much, he will never come off the field. He wears that green dot. He has to communicate to the safeties, the front line, but he says he's ready for the job.
You did that?
I did that, yeah. Oh, yeah, I wore the green dot in the back of the helmet.
Was it fun?
I had to make sure I was in condition, I'll tell you that.
3rd down and 3. Davis going the other way to Benny Cunningham. Cunningham, good moves, gets a first down, and Blanton is there, so an 11-yard pickup. Benny Cunningham was the most impressive running back in preseason, not Zach Stacy, who nearly had 1,000 yards a year ago. Cunningham was their top runner in preseason. Now they hurry up a bit more, and a first down. And here is Cunningham again. Cunningham into Viking territory. Barr is there. That gets to the 45, 7 yards short of the first down.
That was a great stop by Anthony Barr, the rookie. talking to this coaching staff, they didn't know that he would be able to pick up this defense as fast as he has, but he's been playing well in the preseason and showing today as well.
Zach Stacy is back in, but the pass on the slant, and it's caught by Jared Cook, who led the Rams in just about every receiving category last year. And a first down to the 29, 16 more yards. 3:45 to go. Rams have all three of their timeouts left, down by plenty. And this pass thrown behind the intended receiver, Brian Quick. But there was great pressure put on by several Vikings, including the safety, Harrison Smith.
You knew Mike Zimmer wouldn't sit back long with that prevent, that just the four-man rush. Sending Harrison Smith. We saw him early in the game get a sack early, a big play. These safeties, they play a pivotal part in Mike Zimmer's defense because they don't only have to play the deep middle of the field or in the cover two playing the deep halves, but they have to be able to become run supporters and be able to blitz. And they're doing a good job today of that.
2nd and 10 at the 29. Davis caught, will be short of the first down by a couple. Brian Quick is there with the reception. That is a 6-yard pickup. Davis has completed 12 of 16 for 116 yards. One of the Rams is shaken up on the field. And Quick has been the leading receiver for St. Louis with 7 catches for 99 yards. So we have an injured player. Looks like Roger Saffold, the left guard. Well, Roger Saffold exits the game, and Greg Robinson, highly touted guard, 2nd pick in the draft out of Auburn, has come in for the first time at left guard. And a lot of people saying, how come your number 1 isn't playing, starting? But he's in there now. We'll see. Saffold has been battling health issues throughout his career. So Robinson is in there. 3rd down and 4. This is 2-down territory, by the way. And this pass is intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith has a blocker in front of him, a lineman, and Harrison Smith is going to score. Everson Griffin was downfield to block for Smith, and he goes and scores. What a play, and the Minnesota Vikings doing it on both sides of the ball today. Over about 80 yards for that return on the interception. Huge play for the Vikings to seal this game.
You see right there, Anthony Barr showing that mug blitz, putting a hit on Austin Davis. And you can see Austin Davis on the ground. Didn't even see where the ball was thrown. And Harrison Smith, the preseason that he's had, but Everson Griffin, the speed to stay in front of Harrison Smith. That's what this Vikings defense is all about, speed, physical play.
And Blair Walsh with the extra point. So the Vikings get 2 interceptions and capitalize on both turnovers and officially 81 yards on the return by Harrison Smith. He and Xavier Rhodes combined to miss 11 games last year for the Vikings and regarded as the best defensive back on the team. And what a performance by the Minnesota Vikings on the road in this opening game, now leading 34-3.
What more can I say? I mean, this is a defense that came to play today. Anthony Barr, the young rookie. We talk about Chad Greenway, but the secondary. And one thing, when you talk to Mike Zimmer, he calls them defensive backs. He said, no, just because one plays corner or one plays safety, they're defensive backs. They're asked to cover. They're asked to play in the run game. They're asked to make big hits and make big plays. And that one right there, you saw Harrison Smith just reading the eyes of the quarterback, takes it the distance for an interception return for a touchdown. Those are the plays that get the defense excited. But if you look at that sideline over there, a lot of smiles on the Minnesota Vikings sideline.
Not on that sideline. And not from the head coach, Jeff Fisher. Chris Gibbons is going back to receive the kick. So a spectacular 81-yard interception return by Harrison Smith to make it 34-3. Ever think that if you were in charge, the world would be a better place? Well, this September, Fox is giving 15 people a chance to prove it by building their ideal society from scratch. Utopia. Witness the birth of a brave new world tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox. And for Harrison Smith, that's his 3rd career interception return for a touchdown. Imagine allowing 480 points a game last year. They have not relinquished a touchdown in this game. Austin Davis going deep for Tavon Austin, and it's knocked away, incomplete. And it was Josh Robinson. Kenny Britt was the receiver. And right now, let's check in with Joel Klatt for a game break.
All right, thanks, Dick. And we go down to Dallas. Colin Kaepernick making his way to the field for the 49ers, fresh off that new contract extension. And now Tony Romo out to the field, getting set for their Week 1 tilt in Dallas. It's the Cowboys and 49ers, America's Game of the Week, next on Fox. Dick.
All right, Joel, and of course, the Cowboys going to have to score a lot of points to keep up with that porous defense that they've shown. Here is Davis, and Davis, that's Tavon Austin, and the flag goes downfield. By the way, you saw Josh Robinson before our game break limp off the field, shaken up. Captain Munnerlyn is back in at cornerback now. So the 28-yard gain and the call upcoming. That's Josh Robinson.
Before the pass was thrown, illegal contact defense, number 39. The penalties decline. The play results in a first down.
Jabari Price, and they declined the penalty. So there are the quarterbacks. Colin Kaepernick, 3 straight NFC Championship appearances in Jim Harbaugh's first 3 years as head coach. Tony Romo, what do you think of that game?
Well, it's going to be a great game. I think if you look at the San Francisco offense, Alex Boone coming back from his holdout, missed all of training camp. He's going to solidify that offensive line, which I thought made Colin Kaepernick struggle in the preseason.
First down at the 48. And the pass thrown underneath. Lance Kendricks the tackle. Well, the NFC West, tell you what, that's arguably the best division maybe in the NFL. I know the Rams are part of that. They have a really good defense, but how about Seattle, San Francisco, and Arizona? And this is going to go as a catch to Chris Gibbons. Big gain out to the 16-yard line for Gibbons. So Rams stretching it down in the waning moments of this game. That was a 27-yard gain.
Vikings sitting back in their prevent defense, just allowing guys just sit back. A lot of the reserves in for the Minnesota Vikings. Everson Griffin's not out there. You're seeing different cornerbacks in the game, but it's still the St. Louis Rams, they need something. This could be a positive for Austin Davis. We don't know about next week. We don't know if Sean Hill will be ready. So Austin Davis treating this like a game-like situation because they need this in order to evaluate him for next week.
From the 16, Benny Cunningham drives inside the 10. And we're going to wind down to the 2-minute warning, but we have a flag down first. And also an injured Viking as well. That's Mike Person. No, check that. We're going to, number 73, Sharif Floyd.
Holding offense, number 46. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Harkey, the tight end, was holding. But Floyd, who's played a good game, is down. We're going to have a timeout. 2:04 remaining. Well, Mike Zimmer, the new head coach, might have been nervous, but he's going to get his first win in his first game as head coach. He's got his coaching start at the University of Missouri, and 21 years as an NFL coordinator.
I had a chance to catch up with him before the game started. I said, Mike, are you nervous yet? He said, no, not yet, but about kickoff, trust me, those butterflies will be flying.
He's not nervous now. First down and 20 at the 26 for the Rams. Okay. And the ball getting away from Davis. Saw that with Matt Castle a couple of times earlier in the game, and now we're down to our 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go. Jennings with a great catch. Patterson has been spectacular, and the defense has not allowed a touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings.
Today's game is sponsored by State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today.
Well, the Minnesota Vikings going to get their first road victory since December the 23rd in 2012 when they beat the Houston Texans. They didn't win a road game all of last year. They did tie the Green Bay Packers. They had a 1-7 start, and now they have the 1. And so, you know, I would say things are looking up for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, all smiles on that sideline because this is what Mike Zimmer wanted. He wanted his team to play smart. They did that. Play physical. They did that. And played hard. And if that's going to be what we're going to see all season long, I think this is going to be a NFC North that's going to be up for grabs.
Second down and 34. And there is Benny Cunningham. Cunningham gets to the 27. Hodges making the tackle. Well, next week, the Minnesota Vikings, and you want to talk about a tough early season schedule. They have the New England Patriots next week, and look at the rest of those games. And just think here, as the pass is incomplete, the quarterbacks that they're going to have to face starting next week. Tom Brady, then Drew Brees, then Matt Ryan, then Aaron Rodgers. Those are the quarterbacks that Mike Zimmer's team, so that defense better get ready.
There's no let up at the end with Detroit with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson.
You're right.
They're running the gamut, but I think this is the challenge that Mike Zimmer's presented to his team. And said, look, these are who we're going to go up against, but they haven't seen our style of defense. Let's show not only the NFL, but let's show everybody, the doubters, what kind of team this is.
This will be a 46-yard field goal. Greg Zuerlein, who's 1 for 2 today, missed the 50, made a 56, and converts the 46-yard field goal. So the Rams having to settle for field goals today. Cannot get in the end zone, at least with 1:31 remaining in the game. And you look at Minnesota with 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown. And they got speed and spectacular play. And next week, by the way, the Rams will travel to Tampa Bay to take on the improved Buccaneers, who's one of our games coming up on America's Game of the Week. For those of you who will not see the 49ers and the Cowboys, which is a great matchup, you will see the Panthers and the Bucs in their opening.
It's a lot of good football. for opening weekend. I call it a building identity.
And there's a smile that that just like a neon sign.
Well, look, that's the identity of the Minnesota Vikings over the last couple years. As you look to the guy to the right of Cordero Patterson, building an identity for his own, saying that this team is not just Adrian Peterson. You give me the football, and I can do what Adrian does. So the explosiveness.
How about him?
And then Everson Griffith. Are they missing Jared Allen right now? You say the way that Everson Griffith is playing right now, he's finally able to kind of, they said, flap his wings a little bit because Jared Allen's been the leader of that group, and now Everson Griffith's showing that he can take over the job.
Zuerlein's kick, and the Vikings will take it out on the 20. So Davis, 16 of 23 with 192 yards, and Hill early, but let's see what this game was all about, Kirk.
It was 5-man, it was 4-man, it was blitzing. It was the Minnesota Vikings getting after the quarterback, making it rough, making it tough for not only Sean Hill, but when Austin Davis came in, I felt like they smelled blood. And once you smell blood, you just go after the quarterback and you get him down to the ground and force him into bad throws. And that's what you saw from Austin Davis today, some bad throws toward the end of the game.
He had better numbers, of course. They opened it up more. And Hill, who was hurt after the first half, 8 of 13. Each quarterback threw an interception. They didn't run the ball much. Stacy and Cunningham didn't average 3.9 yards per carry. 5 sacks, 2 interceptions for the Vikings. Quick led the Rams with 7 catches for 99 yards. Jennings with 6 catches, leading the Vikings to this point. And Patterson with 3 runs for 102 yards, and Peterson getting 75. We're going to have bonus coverage of that tight game between the Saints and the Falcons coming up after this game, which will be history. The Minnesota Vikings, who didn't win a game on the road. Mike Zimmer got a shower. He wins his first game as head coach, just as Norm Van Brocklin did in '61 when the Vikings were an expansion team and beat the Chicago Bears. Final score 34-6. And the Rams shellac at home. And there it is. The bath to Mike Zimmer.
That feels good.
Yeah.
I know it does.
I bet it does.
That feels good.
I bet it does. And so 34-6. Final seconds being ticked off. And so for Kirk Morrison and Christina Pink, Dick Stockton saying so long.